The third book, I hated it. The cover is pretty. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a wrap-up video. It's that time of the year again. I do these quarterly because I don't read too many a month and I'm not trying to bore you too much with like a video with like 2 or 3 books. So I tend to do them in quarterly videos. So if you haven't seen my January, February, March video, that's up, as well as my April, May, June video, that's also up, which therefore means that this is the July, August, September quarter 3 book wrap up. So this quarter wasn't that great. I only read 6 books, but you know what? For me, I probably read 1 book last year, and so to read 6 books in 3 months is not bad for me at all. So I'm just going to go through them month by month. I will tell you now that there were a couple of books that I don't know why I sold, and I wish I didn't. So I don't have the physical copies of it, but we'll make do. So the first book I read in July is Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. Now this is a very, very loved, highly regarded book. I sold it, which is annoying because actually I do want to get a collection going. We'll learn from our mistakes. I think I sold it because I actually gave this book a 3 out of 5, and that was like me really stretching that 3 from a 2.5. Don't get me wrong, the writing I appreciate was beautiful, and I get what the book was about. I just was not feeling it. I don't know what it was. Maybe I was just in a bit of a slump at the time. I don't know. But I just was not feeling it. But basically that follows a young girl who they have like these artificial intelligence beings, like robots that you can buy from these stores, and they act almost like a nanny. Like, so basically they live in like this world where I'm pretty sure there's like a certain model which are like butlers and maids, and then a certain model that's like a nanny, like a companion for children. And yeah, it's that. I just, yeah, sorry, just didn't enjoy it. So Clara and the Sun. Okay, so the second book that I read in July was The Silent Patient by, okay, I can never say his last name, so forgive me if I butcher it, Alex Michaelides. Everybody has seen this book. This is meant to be becoming a movie. I think Brad Pitt picked it up or something like that. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. Now, I devoured this. I fully could not put this down. It was a page turner. It was very fast paced. It's very short chapters. It's what you want in a thriller. The only reason why it's not a 5-star for me is because I saw the twist coming quite early on, but even though I did, I will be honest, the way that the book was written, it didn't ruin it for me. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the twist. Didn't ruin it for me. Absolutely enjoyed it still, and like I said, smashed through this like no other. So I recommend reading this, especially like in the more spooky seasons. Definitely pick this up. So those are the 2 books that I read in July, and if you think that's a lot, in August I read a big fat 1 book. I had really high hopes for August because I went on holiday for 2 weeks back to the Philippines with my family, and I had this like whole idea that I was like, right, we had a flight to Saudi which took like 9 hours, and then we had like a 4-hour stopover, and then we had another 6 hours to get to the Philippines. So I thought, I'm bringing like 3 books with me because easily I will breeze through them. I started reading 1 book and then just slept on the flight, honestly, and watched films and played a lot of solitaire. So I didn't read any books. That's it. And then I came back, and in a week I managed to finish this book, Lisa Tadeo's Animal. This is literally like, I was surprised every 2 seconds. I don't know if it was just me, but I just did not know what was going to happen next. It's not like even like in a thriller way, like where it's like, what happens next? I was just like, oh, okay, that's what we're talking about. Oh, that's what she's doing now. Like, it was just like, never let them know your next move, it said. But I gave this one originally a 3, and then after a few days bumped it up to a 3.5 out of 5. I don't know what it was about this. I read it, and definitely unhinged woman genre is currently my favorite, and this really fit in with that. This is the first Lisa Tadeo book I have, but I did completely risk everything and bought this and her other 2 books, 3 Women and Ghost Lovers, or that's the newest one, I believe. And luckily, I actually enjoyed this book. 3.5 out of 5, just because I appreciated the sentiment of the book, the message that it was trying to say about how sometimes men, you guys are pretty nasty, like, you know, and sometimes women, we are scared of you. Like, as women, we're scared of you because of so many reasons. And this book kind of goes and delves into that. It jumped like back and forth between timelines, which I found a little bit confusing. Like, the ending was just kind of weird. A lot of the things happening there was just like shock factor, I think. But like I said, still enjoyed it. Just 3.5 out of 5 though. Okay, and that's all I read in August. In September, I finished 3 books. And this was quite a good reading month for me in the terms that the 2 out of the 3 books, 5 out of 5, like chef's kiss. The 3rd book, fucking hated it. So... and that's the book I read last, so that's what we're going to end it on, okay? So let's start with the first book that I read in September, and that was Verity by Colleen Hoover. Everybody knows what it looks like, but my copy is currently with my... well, I gave it to my sister, who messaged me at like 4 in the morning saying, so I started reading Verity at midnight thinking, let me read it for like an hour and a half. She read it in one sitting. And then my mum was like, what's this? You two read a book that's a thriller, because my mum loves a thriller as well. So obviously I was like, over a Sunday roast, Mum, you have a go. And she also literally took it, went home, read it, and was just like, I don't know what to think. But she absolutely devoured that. Like, I keep saying devoured because that's the only way I can describe it, of like when you have a book that you just want to just consume all in one go. And that is how I would describe Verity. The twist, mental, still think about it to this day, and it's now October. I don't know, there's just something about the way Colleen Hoover writes, and it just sucks me in, and I get the hype over her. I know this isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I'm pretty sure it's like an 80-20 like ratio of people who like it versus people that don't. But oh gosh, it's just such a good book. I think this is her first thriller. She needs to make more. The twist was great. Okay, for some background, before I go on and on about it first, for some background, the main character that we follow is called Lowen. She is an aspiring writer. I think she's written a couple of things, but you know, nothing crazy. She's looking after her mum, who basically ends up kind of like rinsing her, because obviously it's expensive to look after someone. In comes Jeremy, who is Verity's husband. Verity, his wife, was in an accident and is in a coma, but they are under a contract, so they want someone to finish off Verity's very, very, very famous series. And he knows that Verity has been a fan of Lowen's writing, so he thought, here's £500,000, like, please go and finish that. But in order to write it, kind of like as if Verity would, you need to come and live with us and go through all of her stuff, because there's a lot, and that will help you write the book as Verity would want you to. And just drama, honestly. It is so good. It was creepy. There were times where I was just like, oof. I recommend it. It's currently £5 for this book at the works. Honestly, go and get this book because it's great. It's great. And for those who don't like it, I completely respect your opinions, but you're wrong. No, I'm kidding. This is probably one of my favorite reads of the year, if not ever. Okay, and then the other 5-star book that I picked up was, bear with me because it might be a little bit weird, but it is My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. There we go. How do I even talk about this book? So this book is very interesting in a sense that, okay, first of all, please search up trigger warnings. I also saw that they were selling this at the works for £3, and like, I just hope people are reading the blurb of these books, because I was saying this to my other half the other day. When you watch films, there are ratings of, you know, PG-18 or R-rated films, or PG-15, whatever. So you have an idea. With books, you don't. There are some books that I have picked up thinking, oh my god, this is just such a cute rom-com, just so cute. And then there's like hella spicy scenes in it, and I'm like, a 16-year-old could have picked this up and been a bit like, whoa, I was not asking for that. But with this is something that I genuinely will say to you to look up trigger warnings for. This isn't a spoiler, it's literally on the blurb, but basically Vanessa is a victim of grooming by her old English teacher, old being like the operative word, because he was a full-grown man when she was 15. But the reason why it's so interesting is because she doesn't see herself to be a victim, even though everyone's like, are you insane? He is a pedophile, basically. He is a groomer. He is a pedophile. Like, you are a victim of this pedophile. And she's like, no, like, I consented to this. Like, this is different. It was just really wild to see it from that perspective, because often we get it from like the perspective where they know they're the victim, or, you know, a loved one knows that their child or whoever the victim is a victim. But this is just, it was just really interesting. It was really difficult to read. It's not one you can binge, because there are certain graphic scenes in there where I would read it and I would be like, let me put that down for a minute. I just don't want anything to do with you for a second. I need to just chill out and forget about you for a bit, and then I'll pick it back up. So definitely just look up the trigger warnings, definitely for more mature readers. Also, but if we take the horrible aspects of it, you know, obviously with the graphic nature of the graphic scenes, and just the nature of sexual abuse to a minor, the writing was, I thought was absolutely brilliant. The way it was told, you almost sympathized, and for a split second I would find myself almost understanding why she felt like she was able to justify it. And that's how like easily it is that like people always see the physical part of the abuse, and then we're not seeing, like, this is really giving you an insight to the psychological part of it, and how if someone manipulates you well enough, you genuinely do not believe anything else. But yeah, if you can stomach the graphic scenes, there's not too many, but there's more than one too many. But if you can, you know, if you can go through that, and if you've looked up the trigger warnings and think that that's fine, then definitely I think try and give this a read, because it was really, really interesting, and I gave this a 5-star, like I said. Now, okay, so the last book that I have, we're gonna end it with a bang. I originally gave this a 2 stars, but I can even go as far as giving it 1, honestly. Like, 1 just because I know that I don't know, the cover is pretty. Like, it's How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. Okay, that sounded really harsh. It just, for me, wasn't it. I know so many people who enjoyed it, I guess, but her writing style is just not for me. If you hear moving, my little doggy's, oh, she's just chilling, she's just walking around. Yeah, How to Kill Your Family by Bella Mackie. I just really didn't enjoy it. The idea was great, and I did finish it. I did have to do audio and physical book because I just could not. I really desperately wanted to enjoy this, but I saw someone on Goodreads literally say, this is like me when I need to reach the word count limit. Like, this book could have ended like in 100 pages. Like, there was no need for it to go on for that long. So to give you a bit of background, she is a serial killer who kills her family. So you kind of follow her as she does this, but it was just shocking. I just really didn't enjoy it. I was bored. She was so annoying as well. She was just like, she kept trying to be like this, like, oppressed, quirky, like, I don't know, but she was a bitch. She would just shame anybody who didn't look like her. I just really didn't like her. Thought she was just insufferable, quite frankly. Like I said, the cover's pretty for what it's worth. If you like it, fair enough, kudos to you, but for me, I just absolutely hated it. This is one I'm going to like resell or give away or whatever if anyone wants it, because I'm definitely not going to want to touch this anytime soon, if not ever. And that sounds really harsh, but I just really didn't enjoy it. So guys, those were all the books that I read for the months of July, August and September. I'm hoping that my final quarter of the year will be a lot better than 6 books, because come autumn, I am just inside, cozied up, reading all my books, because I don't want to be outside. In the summer, try and drag me back inside. But in the autumn, I'm like, try and get me outside at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought. Hopefully I didn't put you guys off any of them, especially the last book. Again, these are just my opinions, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.